Hey y'all. Happy Tinfoil Tiara Tuesday on a Sunday. Um, I wanted to catch up, just a real quick recap of the first four episodes of The Handmaid's Tale so that when the new episode drops on Tuesday for Tinfoil Tiara Tuesday, I'm caught up and not behind like I am on the pitch, y'all. So we've got the first three episodes, or the first four episodes. The first three dropped 2 weeks ago, and then the fourth one was this past week. Train, Exile, Devotion, and Promotion. Looks like when I look at IMDb, IMDb, looks like there's going to be 10 episodes in the season, and this is the final season. So we start with Train. So, in Train, and the first two episodes are directed by Elizabeth Moss. So, in Train, as advertised, we meet up with Serena and June on a train on their way to Alaska slash the US, what's left of the US, Alaska, Hawaii, and I think California fell, maybe. I'm not sure. Um, the irony of June keeping Noah safe in this picture while Serena is in the bathroom. Fuck me running. Like, beautiful moment. And I like how Lizzie Moss directs. I got to tell you, the episodes she directs, I don't know if she just gets the best episodes, but they're beautifully done. Anyway, so they're on the train headed for Alaska. Serena gets June medical treatment because the end of the last season, she got her arm broken by some douchebag who ran her over trying to kill her. Um, and so she gets her some medical. The doctor that's looking after June recognizes Serena and calls the cops. And the other passengers on the train figure out that she's a commander's wife and they're ready to tear her apart. So to save her and her son, um, June pushes them off the train while they're still in Canada. She's being a weenie about jumping. She won't jump. And June's like, fuck it, they're about to kill you anyway, and pushes her off the train. June arrives in Alaska at the end of the episode with Nicole, safe and sound. She's checking in at a Med Aid tent. And you see her hands, and you know it was her from the music, and because it's Cherry Jones, you know who it is. And so, but you see her hands first, and she's holding the clipboard, and it pauses and stutters at June's name, and the clipboard drops, and you see her face, and she's calling June, and June recognizes the sound of her mother's voice, and I'm done. Holly is alive. I can't. It was like someone punched me in my fucking tit. I can't. It was very good. Okay, then we go on to Exile. Exile's kind of all about New Bethlehem and how Lawrence, played by Bradley Whitford, is trying to get it up and running and give Gilead a better name and the future he envisioned, even though he is the architect of this horrific hell that these people are living in. And bitch, you need a reckoning. Not you personally, Bradley Whitford, but Commander Lawrence needs a reckoning. And I personally would like to see him vivisected. And unless he steps up. Seriously, this bitch needs to atone. Okay? Anyway, part of this plan is Josh Charles, who is Nick's father. Josh Charles, who is playing Nick's father-in-law, is like, give me Serena back. So already they're sowing those seeds. I fuck with Serena, right? So they bring Serena back to be a PRO for Gilead. Devotion. June and Nick have to bail Luke and Moira out from trouble. They're working for Mayday in an effort to do something. Luke really is ready to inflict pain on the people that are keeping him from his daughter, who have forever changed his wife in the course of his life. And Moira is sick of doing nothing too. Um, so they get pinned down by guardians, and June has to reach out to Nick because he's not answering Tuello's calls to get him to save her man. So both men she loves. She's got one man she loves. It has to be so hard to love her. June is not always likable. As a matter of fact, she's often not likable. Is she still June? Yes. But damn, I would hate to be in a relationship with her. But she sure is fun to watch. So that transpires. Lydia is having a full-on nutty reckoning, has figured out that Janine is in Jezebel's, and that is freaking her out. And Serena starts putting the moves on Josh Charles. Promotion, the 4th episode. Rita is reunited with her sister. And that's beautiful. And it is. It's like, trauma, 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 trauma. Here you can breathe and be happy. But I don't trust that shit for a minute. Moira and Luke are going to storm Jezebel's, save Janine. And then June's like, no, I want to go. And now they're pissed. And now they're going to work together. They're going to be blowing shit up. They're going to get Hannah. They're going to get Janine. Serena makes more moves on Nick's father-in-law. And in the previews, and that's about it. But anyway, in the previews for the upcoming season and everything, we see Serena getting married. I assume that's who she's married. We also see that the handmaids are making shit go down. It appears at the wedding. I hope that's the truth. Somebody in one of like the after show type things or whatever commentaries was saying, and I'm not sure who it was, but I want to say it was June, that we will be surprised this season on who is truly good and who is truly evil and that kind of stuff. They've spoiled this kind of all along. And of course, Ann Dowd, who plays Aunt Lydia, is amazing. You see her disillusionment has been building and building and building. And Janine at Jezebel's, I think, is the final straw for her. So I think we're going to find an ally in Aunt Lydia at some point. I hope for that. Otherwise, put her on the wall with Lawrence and Serena and anybody else. Y'all know what I'm saying. Trans rights were human rights. Where are the trans people? And Handmaid's Tale. I'm not talking about in Gilead. I get Gilead. There weren't any in Canada either. And that's fucking weird. Don't be trans exclusionary. Y'all do better. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I will join me tomorrow on Manic Monday. We're going to talk about John Oliver and whatever he talked about and whatever else I get up to this week. I think I'm going to try and watch Yellowstone. I'm not sure. People that I like the show. So, but like, I don't really fuck with Kevin Costner much. So anyway, and then join me for Tinfoil Tiara Tuesday, where we'll be recapping episode 5, more in depth, not quite so truncated, of The Handmaid's Tale. And Weedy Wednesday, we're going to talk about The Valley and Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, y'all. Bye.